Hey, what's up guys, Mr. Roark again. So the last thing we need to learn on this unit, well, as far as shapes are concerned, is how to find the surface area of semicircles and quarter circles. And if you think about the word itself, semi is like half of, and quarter means, 1/4 or 1/4 of a circle, okay? To show you guys how to do this, we're going to start with a circle, and I'm going to use this handy little tool that I have in my math closet to show you guys how this works. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how we find the surface area of those shapes. So, here's my circle, okay? Here is the center point, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a line out to the side. Now, again, we're going to go ahead and find the surface area of a semicircle, half of this, and then also a quarter circle, 1/4 of this, okay? To start us out, I'm going to go ahead and say that, for example, what do we have in here? We're using a circle that has a radius, which means from the middle of this circle to the edge is 8 inches, all right? We've got a radius of 8 inches. I'm going to start with the formula for a circle, which we haven't gotten to yet. We're going to actually do it in the next unit, but what I want to do is just really quickly show you how to find the surface area of a circle, and then we're just going to use this formula really quick to get us into how to find it for a semicircle and a quarter circle. Our formula is pi, which is the symbol here, times my radius squared. So we just now said our radius is 8, okay? So at this point, most of you guys, I hope, already know that pi, I'm going to go and put it over here, pi is 3.14, okay? Now, my radius in this case, like I said, is 8, so I'm going to put 8 squared, and really what that means is the same thing as saying 8 times 8, okay? A number squared is a number times itself. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, 4 squared is 4 times 4, 5 squared is 5 times 5, 8 squared is 8 times 8, okay? Now, a couple of students like to do it different ways, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the way that we do it, okay? We're going to go ahead and take 8 times 8. Most of you guys, I think, know that 8 times 8 is going to give us an answer of 64. Now, if I multiply 64, which I got from doing 8 times 8, which is also 8 squared, I'm going to get 64 times pi, or 3.14, okay? Now, you guys have this example on the very bottom, so you guys should be kind of following along. But if I do 8 times 8 times 3.14, I'm going to get an answer of 200.96. And since we're doing inches, we're going to go ahead and call it inches squared. Kind of a funny caveat, or kind of exception to this, not really exception, but thing to know. Even though it's inches squared, the idea of having a bunch of little tiny squares that are 1 inch by 1 inch still applies to a circle. That means I need 200.96 of a square, so basically everything except for like this little tiny piece to fill and completely cover that circle, okay? Could be a lot of cut edges on this whenever I'm filling this thing up with a bunch of little squares, because you can't really put a square inside of something round. You've got to cut some edges off to make it work. I'll explain that in class though. So, at this point, we know that the surface area of this entire circle is 200.96. The problem with it is on your page, you probably noticed we're not solving for the complete area of a circle. We're solving for the surface area of a semicircle, okay? So, what is half of that? Well, to find our answer, what we're going to do is we're going to take 200.96,
Teachers, pardon this interruption. The TAC gradebook training is about to begin in Lab 133, and all new teachers need to be there.
That's not me, because I'm really old. Okay, 200.96 inches squared is for the full circle. If we end up wanting only half of this circle, we're going to only end up using half of this number here. So, to get this half of this number, again, like we did before with trapezoids and triangles, I can either do 1/2 times 200.96, or if I want to, I can just do this. I can take 200.96 and divide it by 2. If I divide 200.96 by 2, I'm going to get an answer of 100.48. Okay? What that is, oh, and by the way, that's inches squared. That is the complete circle, 200.96, cut in half. Alright? So we just cut the number in half. We divided it by 2. And 100.48 is the surface area for this semicircle. And once again, a bunch of little tiny squares that are 1 inch by 1 inch. I'm going to need 100.48 of these little things to completely cover this space. Now, if I want to find it for a quarter circle, well, guess what? A quarter circle is actually half of this half circle. So if I draw a line down here, and I cut this thing in half, and I decide I don't need this part anymore, now I've got a quarter circle, 1/4 of a circle. I just cut that number in half, or that shape in half. So guess what I'm doing to this number? If you said cut it in half, you're exactly right. I'm going to cut it in half, or I'm going to divide it by 2. If I divide 100.48 by 2, it's going to give me an answer of 50.24 inches squared, okay? And 50.24 inches squared is exactly how many of, again, these little 1 inch by 1 inch squares that I would need to fill this space and completely cover it up, okay? So, what you're going to do to find the surface area of a semicircle and a quarter circle, you're going to find the surface area of a complete circle, okay? Once you find the surface area of that complete circle, you want to find it for a semicircle, which is half of a circle. You're going to take the answer you have here and cut it in half. If you want to find it for a quarter of a circle, like that, you're going to take the answer you got from before and cut that one in half, okay? This one can get a little bit confusing sometimes because people aren't sure when to cut in half or if they've already done it before or not. But I can assure you guys with some practice you're going to get it down. If you have any other questions, you guys know you can always come find me at room 12. Thanks, guys.